Hi, this is Shakia Bruce, and I am a fourth grade teacher at Ivy Preparatory Academy. Here you will go over my data overview, and I will present this to the faculty and administration. So, the purpose and rationale for this presentation is to review the elementary Georgia milestone scores at Ivy Preparatory Academy in the last 3 years compared to the district. Here with the charter school, we are the district, so we compared it to the state. Review the enrollment changes at Ivy Preparatory over the last 3 years, and to continue data analysis so that we are able to establish effective short-term goals to increase the percentage of students performing in proficient and distinguished areas on the Georgia milestones. We're also going to pinpoint strengths and weaknesses within current ELA and math instruction. So, our school is quite different from many others. We are at a charter school. This charter, like I mentioned before, we are the district as a school, Ivy Preparatory Academy, Kirkwood. We are single gendered. We have all females, and we service grades K through 8. Today, we will only be discussing the data from elementary school because I'm over the elementary department. So some questions that I want you to think about as we go through this presentation. What do you assume about how students will perform based off of the data? What trends do you expect to see over time? And you will see up to 3 years worth of data on Georgia milestones today. How will the state and the school compare? So how did we do comparing to the state in all different domains? Looking across the data, what changes are there in the percentage of students who meet or exceed the standards? So looking at every year from year to year and figuring out the percentages between the children that met and exceed the standards in comparison to the state. And what is surprising or what is unexpected. So at Ivy Preparatory Academy, we've had an influx of students throughout the 3 years. As you can see here in 2015, we only had 384 students. And then we began to grow in 2016 with new leadership at 392 students. And then in 2017, we're at 417 students. And now for 2018, which is not shown here, but we're at 564 students. So as you can see clearly, the line is definitely increasing when it comes to enrollment at Ivy Prep. For race and ethnicity, we're pretty much all the same. Unfortunately, it's not that diverse. We're basically African American. We're about 98% African American. And that would be 98.9% African American. And it has stayed like that for the past 3 years. Free and reduced lunch. So in 2015, we have 78.4% of students that were offered or eligible for free and reduced lunch, whereas in 2016 that number decreased and we're at 60.2%. And in 2017, now we have about 45% students that are eligible for free and reduced lunch. So as you can see, over the 3 years, we've had a different amount of students that were eligible for free and reduced lunch, and it has increased consistently over the past 3 years. To go along with your free and reduced lunch, in 2017, we had 40% of students on an average income and 60% that were coming from low income families. It changed a bit coming from 2016, where we only had 25% with an average income and 75% from lower income families. So the data here is synonymous with the free and reduced lunch data. According to academics, so here you have the data for the percentage of students that scored in developing, proficient, and distinguished on the Georgia milestones. And this is only on the elementary side, grades 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And this is in 2015. As you can see, we outperformed the state in elementary grades in ELA, math, and social studies. But science is in still need of improvement comparing to the state. So here we outperform all subject areas except in science. In 2016, the state outperformed U.S. in all subject areas and grades. And as you can see here, this data is just broken down by grade level. So you have 3rd grade here, and then 4th grade here, and then 5th grade. Moving to 2017, we outperformed the state in ELA, science, and social studies, but there is still need an improvement in math. Last year's data in 2016 demonstrated more growth in academics comparing to the state. So if you see here, we did pretty well in elementary school with ELA for Ivy at about 78%, and for the state, lower than that. So we outperformed there. And in math, there's still some deficits there because the state scored at 80%, whereas Ivy was a little bit lower. Science, Ivy outperformed the state as well as in social studies. So looking over the past 3 years, there is still a consistent deficit in math instruction. According to the data, our strengths would be that over the past 3 years, we continue to outperform the state in ELA. So it looks as if we need to keep doing what we're doing with ELA instruction. We have also outperformed the state in at least one or more content areas over the past 3 years, which is also a requirement in order for us to keep our charter. Some of our weaknesses would be that there needs to be improvement in math instruction shown in the data. Over the past 3 years, math instruction has some deficits and it needs to be relooked and revamped. Instructional strategies that we put in place in 2016 should be revisited because according to the data in 2016, our math overall score was higher than 2017, but yet not enough to reach the state's requirements. So I ask, now what? Some questions to think about in order to make our action steps are, why do we continue to fall below the state average in math? What happened in year 3 when our overall scores dropped from the year prior? Based on the data, what new initiatives do you think we need to start to improve overall scores? Do you believe that the huge increase in enrollment had any correlation to the scores?